Right then, day one on this bathroom renovation. You know, you've got that one tool that you've had for years. I reckon I've had it 15, 20 years. Little chisel. It was an old wood chisel, and we use it for hacking wood, knocking bricks out, knocking tiles off. Mine's now right down there. So we've got a tile here, plasterboard, another bit of plasterboard, and another bit of plasterboard. A little bit concerned about the floor. Twin basins go in here. So what I think I'm going to try and do is run a separate 1.5 inch waste. Maybe drill into the stack here. Oh, just noticed that. So let's go and get the water back on and check that all the pipe work for the first fix is spot on. You can hear water. Right then, day one on this bathroom renovation. We've got to take all of this lot out because the customer is having a complete new bathroom going in. Freestanding bath here, shower here, twin basins here, the lot. It's going to look really good. But first of all, we have got to get things like this out. All the tiles off, full height tiles. We don't know what the board's like behind it. We've got to get everything out, floor out, underfloor heating under the floor, completely get it out, hoping for no surprises. So this is going to be a good one. This is going to be an interesting one because the layout in here is quite tight, but we're going to make it work. So first of all, we're going to get all the flooring covered up. That's what I always do when I do a bathroom renovation. All the flooring covered up, everywhere covered so that we can protect it. We're all right with this carpet out here because that's coming up in the future, so we haven't got to worry too much about that. Get the water off, get the heating drain down, and then we can begin getting all of this out. Shower, towel rail, toilet, tiles. The tiles are going to be the big one. So in this first episode, I think this series is going to be about 4 episodes long. So make sure you get subscribed to the channel to keep watching the progress of this bathroom renovation. But first of all, let's get the water off and let's get it ripped out. Right then, as I said in the intro, we've got to take all this bathroom out. So water's off, just turned it off, opened all the taps up. So what we're going to do now is just work our way through. First of all, getting all these fronts of these units off, stripping this out, cutting the pipework out, and getting as much out as we can. So first things first, with the bathroom renovation, we've got to completely strip out the old one. Now, getting these units out, I made a bit of a mistake when I did it, but we'll get onto that further along in the video, so keep an eye out for it. So we've got all that unit out, then we move on to the toilet, obviously split that, take that out, and then we have to do the shower area. Now, I'm always paranoid about shower screens popping and exploding when you take them out, so we have to be really careful. And then we carried on getting the tiles off. Right, we're a couple of hours in now, and we've got this whole wall off. Now, because the plaster is going to be boarding and skimming the whole lot, we've got the tiles off first, and then we've got the plasterboard off after that. So all that's come off relatively easy. We've got this palmet plinth thing to come out. So we're getting there. I've lost, you know, you've got that one tool that you've had for years. I reckon I've had it 15, 20 years. I've even mentioned it before on the channel. Little chisel. It was an old wood chisel, and we use it for hacking wood, knocking bricks out, knocking tiles off, everything. Every plumber's got one. Mine's now right down there, gutted. I pulled this bit off here, off the window ledge, and just seen it roll, go straight down, gutted. Anyway, what we've got here is, so if you can make it out, so we've got a tile here, plasterboard, another bit of plasterboard, and another bit of plasterboard for 3 lots. No, sorry, 2 lots. 1 tile, plasterboard, plasterboard. So that's what we've got behind here. 2 lots of plasterboard. But look at this. Watch this. That whole wall is moving. Now I've got Corey here helping me, and I said to him, the dream is when you grab a tile like that, pull it, and the whole lot moves, because you know full well the whole lot's going to come out in one, and then Corey can get it down into the skip. So let's get our hands on this, pull it out. I mean, everything's disconnected. The only thing that isn't disconnected is the heating pipes, but I'm going to make sure we knock round them so they're not going to be disturbed. So let's give this a pull. I'm going to put this here. Hopefully this don't drop down. Oh no, it will do, won't it? Let's put that there. like that. There we go. See if we can get it all in one. Right. Oh yeah, got more tiles on a flat wall. No. Look at this. So they've just studied out off what was the original bathroom wall to here. Right. Wait till we get that off. I think we're going to be in for a bit of a surprise behind there. But let's crack on now, get all this lot off, get it ripped out, get it down into the skip and see where we're at. So we just about ripped everything out wall-wise. We've got everything off here. We've uncovered the old bathroom, I think, but what we're going to do is sort this wall out here. I'm going to get Dave Bishop here on Tuesday or Wednesday, get this wall completely level, then Scott here, my plasterer's coming in Thursday, Friday to get it plastered. So what we've got to do now is get this palmet plinth thing down. We're just about done on the walls. And then we're just going to get all of this tidied up now. So we're just going to get everything out of here now, completely clean it up so it's a nice clean environment, and then get this off and then get the floor up and then sweep it all out, get it all clean and then see what we're dealing with. But this has been a bit of a pain, but this is a little bit concerning. So what we're going to have is the freestanding bath here. So we're obviously going to have to take hot and cold. You can see there, that's the hot. We've got a 22mm hot there, and we'll have a rummage around and see what we can find. But they can feed, we've got to get them under the floor to feed the tap that's going in that corner. Bath there, toilet there, we're going to have to extend the waste, tweak that. Towel rail move across, and then these hot and colds here are going to feed the shower that's going here. First of all, let's get this all completely clean, get that out and get the floor up. There we go, all out, everything's out. I'm a little bit concerned about the floor, so I'm going to have a little ponder over that while we finish getting this out, and then I'm back tomorrow to sort of have a look at pipework, getting floor up, getting the floor up, and just getting sort of my head into it a little bit more. But today was just the strip out day. But as you can see, I mean, it's not great. There's big holes everywhere. It's a bit of a patchwork quilt, so in an ideal world, I want a new floor going in on that, but it's not in the price, so I might have to have a little chat with the customer and just see what they want to do, because you've got one chance. Obviously, when the floor goes down in here, it's completely tiled, so if there's an issue, so now is the time to sort it out. But I'll have a think about that and see what we're going to do. But last little bit today, we've got to take this sort of palmet sort of thing down. So we'll get the tiles off the front. As you can see, that bit is slightly lower than the ceiling, so I'm hoping they've just attached onto the ceiling, but we'll soon find out when we get it ripped down. How wrong was I? This plinth was an absolute nightmare to get off. There were double trimmers up there, triple studs up there, but we just crack on, get it down and get it out of this bathroom. Day one done, that's it. Completely ripped out now. Got that palmet out the top. That was a right pain, to be honest, but everything's done, everything's out, clean canvas. So I'm going to be back tomorrow, Easter Sunday. I'll be back here. If I haven't said the reason why, because the people that I'm doing this for, the couple I'm doing it for, have gone away for Easter weekend. So I thought I'd get in today, Saturday, Easter Sunday tomorrow, Monday. Plasterer's booked in for Thursday, Friday. Now I need to speak to Dave Bishop because we need to work out what we're doing with the floor, and also this wall, because it was covering up a multitude of sins. Now this wall's going to be completely flat. The freestanding bath's going on here. The customer was hoping to get a niche in there, but we're not going to be able to do it. There's no depth in it and it's just not going to work. So I've got to break that news to him. But I did sort of say to him, look, if we can, we will. I can't promise anything. So unfortunately, there's just no depth. It's going to be a niche about that big and it's going to be a complete waste of time. So yeah, freestanding bath's going here. Towel rail's going to go here. Toilet there. Double sink here. Double basins there. Sorry. People moan at me if I say sink. basins, whatever. Double basins there and a vanity unit, and then a nice shower here with a feature wall. It's going to be completely feature wall tiled there. Everywhere else half height tiled. So yeah, it's going to look mega. But yeah, day one, ripped out, job done. It was hard going. It's about, I don't know, 3:30 now. So yeah, we've got everything done today that I wanted to get done. Skip's full. Look at this, look. Skip is Ramo to the brim, full. Shout out to Corey. Corey's gave me a hand all day just to make it easier. Otherwise, I'd still be here tomorrow, still ripping it out. So yeah, day one is done. I'll see you on day two. Day two, Easter Sunday morning. Who'd have thought, eh? But like I've said, we're going to get this done while they're away, so it makes sense now. Yesterday we got everything out, and last night I had a little bit of ponder over everything, and I thought, right, today I'm going to get stuff like the shower valve out and work out, get some hot and colds under the floor here, sort the waste out, look at how we're going to do that, and then obviously the shower's going over here, so we've got to get the rainfall into the wall. Valve's going to go around here. But then when I got here this morning, I remember we hadn't took all the browning off this wall, because obviously we're going to be completely boarding everywhere. So just spent the last hour or so getting all of this off, just chiseling it off, because Scotty's going to obviously dab some boards onto there. So if we could get that back as much as we can, it's it just makes it a lot better. So I've just got, excuse me, I've just got that top bit to take off now and across the bottom, but it's Easter Sunday. I'm rattling around with that drill, chiseling it all off. Got the window open to let the dust out. Yeah, I want to try and get this done, because if neighbours or whatever in the garden, because it's quite a sunny Easter morning, so. But yeah, I was pretty pleased with yesterday. It was hard going. I woke up this morning, I was just aching. So yeah, ripping bathrooms out, there's a hell of a lot of work. But it is what it is. Let's get this last bit off, tidy down again, and then have a look at what we're going to do with some pipe work. We're going to get some floors up as well. So yeah, right, let's get this done. So with that back wall now done, took out in the skip, we can move on to finally getting some plumbing done. Now, I took the boards up in this area because this valve's coming out, this is coming out, because this is where the freestanding bath's going to go. Now, we wanted taps in this corner, but you can just make out the squiggly lines to this pipework here. Now, that was already smashed out. Don't think that was me, not guilty. But we can see the squiggly lines there where there's going to be pipes. So we're going to have to get this up. We've got to get it up anyway. This was the waste from the shower. We need to move this and make it the waste for the bath, which isn't going to be too bad. Hot and colds over there. We've got a 22mm hot here that is currently feeding up to the shower valve. We've got a cold that is going over that way. We need to sink them under the floor and get them into this position to see what we're going to do over there. Sewer pipe comes down, back on itself, and then drops down. We have got that pipe there capped off. This 1.5 inches is for that, which we're going to reuse for the shower. So what I'm going to do, we've got twin basins going here. So what I think I'm going to try and do is run a separate 1.5 inches waste, and then maybe drill into the stack here and put a strap boss on up, and then we can go across with the waste. So there, because I always like to keep always separate. Some people will say, yeah, it's fine, tee the shower into the basin. I personally don't like it. If I can keep them separated, I will. So that's what we're going to try and do there. But for now, I'm going to get this board up here. I mean, look, this is all this. I mean, it was already as it was, so it's already been cut out to allow for this, and it's nice that they've put all this hair felt lagging down on it. But yeah, we've got to get this up. We've got to get this up now. I'm going to make a decision at some point, because we're going to have to get floor up there, floor up there, and it just means that the whole floor is going to move. So Possibly we're going to have a new floor in it. At this point of filming, I haven't spoke to the customer because obviously it's an added extra, but we can have a conversation. So for now, let's get this board up here and expose what's underneath, especially in that corner where we want our taps.
It's on Hartley's and it was...
A few moments later.
Right then, we got this board up now, expose what's underneath, and to walk you through it, we've got two heating primaries direct from the boiler. We've got a heat only boiler on this job and a pressurised cylinder at the other side. Primaries from the boiler, pressure relief, and two heating pipes. Now these two heating pipes, sod's law, are dropping exactly where we want the taps to come out for the freestanding bath. Freestanding bath's going here, so we'll adapt the waste, come up, and that'll be fine. But I think we're going to have to reroute them somehow, a couple of elbows or whatever, just to get the base of our tap going in there, because I haven't had a look at it yet. It's down in the garage, but I just wanted to expose this and see. But in principle, there's going to be like a plate that fixed to the floor with the pipes coming up through the middle of it. So that we need to sort out. Waste wise, as I say, that will be for the bath. Sewer pipe runs down, across and down. But what I want to do first of all is concentrate on this area. So we began to, the water's all drained down anyway, began to cut out the pipe work. We'll get this valve out, get that out, get all the copper out, and then we can look at altering. We've got 22mm hot there, so I can bring that into here, then we can send that way. Cold, again, we can do the same, come across. I think all the cold is in 15mm. It's all a pressurised system, and the cold pressure here is perfect anyway. So that's not going to be an issue at all. So we'll bring that up, get that across there, and then we can look at doing everything else. But I just want to sort of start getting some pipe work in now that all of this is out. So let's crack on with cutting the old shower out, removing it, and seeing what we're going to do with the pipe work. Also, I need to check out the tap, so we'll pop down into the garage and have a look. So if you're enjoying this video, do me a favour, get subscribed to the channel, go down, click that subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything, and give this video a thumbs up. It just helps push the content, and everyone's going to want to see the end result with this bathroom. So we began getting some pipe work in now. I've bought a 22mm pipe from inside there just to here so that we can get onto it a lot easier. And we've got the cold here. These were the two that fed that shower. We've got the cold there. So what I'm going to do is come across here, drop down under the floor, and then along with that one we can bring two pipes into this area. Now we might have had a little bit of a result. Let me take you down and show you the tap down in the garage. So this is our bath tap that's going to go in. Now out the bottom of the bath tap is these two flexes. So they've got to go on to male iron to coppers. The interesting bit with this is we're going to have to run plastic pipe underneath because we need a load of movement in that, because this bracket is what this screws to. So let me just show you if I can get it on like that. So this bracket, there's going to be a cowl over it, but that bracket sits there. That bolts to where the floor is going to be. But we need to sort of hold this up as we connect the male iron to coppers on that, and then lower it down into the floor in one, and then bolt that into position. So where our pipe work's going to go underneath, under the floor, it needs to be in plastic because it's got to have so much movement on it where it comes out to connect on them. So, oh, I've just noticed that. So that needs so much movement in it when we run them pipes under the floor. So always check what fittings are going in, because it's things like this that you need to know prior to getting that pipe work in. So that's the tap. Let's get back up there and get some pipe work across. So now, knowing what we know with that bath tap, it's going to sit about here. So I think we're going to be all right with these pipes. I reckon where I'm going to mount this, the two plastic pipes are going to go literally between these two pipes here. So if we sort of mount it there, straight through. So what I'm going to do, just had a thought, I was just eyeing up where these pipes are going to go, and we've got that little bracket that's going to sit above for that tap to sit on. So I've got to alter these. I'm going to put a couple of elbows on, run them low level, and then back up into this side. This is feeding upstairs anyway, so if there's any air that's going to get caught in it, it's going to come out the vents, blah blah blah. Someone's going to go, it's going up and down, so it's going to trap air. It's fine.
we're going to drop down, across, back up, and it's going to drop that pipe a lot lower there. What's going on here? Where's my bucket? Just heard a little trickle. I think every plumber has a sixth sense when they hear a bit of water dripping. Yeah, as I was saying, we're going to drop them pipes down so they're about there. I've currently got the heating. I've currently got the heating draining down, so we can do that before we carry on, before I forget. So I can hear the water, if you can hear it, rattling around the system, draining down. So yeah, we'll get that sorted. So the heating's drained down now. I'm going to cut into these 22 mils, and as I said, just drop them down. I'm going to use press fit on it. I know people are going to go, it's going to cost a fortune in press fit, whatever. That's just how I'm going to do this. It's just going to be a lot quicker, and then I can crack on with everything else I've got to do. And by getting them, as I said, really low, I'm not going to be worried about drilling or putting any screws through them pipes. So let's crack on with that. The old press fit comes back out on this bit, and there's a good reason, a valid reason why, which you'll see in a moment. But first of all, we've got to cut these pipes out of the way, and as I've said, we've just got to drop them down because of where that tap plinth is going to sit. So we get those out, get the ends of the pipework cleaned up with a handy little tool. If you haven't got one of these, grab one of these because they're so handy. Just pop Tekker's pipe cleaner into Google and they'll come up. So we've got that out of the way, and now we're going to build up our fittings. We're going to use a street elbow, a normal elbow, but as you may notice on the right hand side, the pipe is still dripping. There's still water in the pipe. Now this is a perfect example of where press comes into its own, because if this was a soldered fitting you're trying to do, it would be an absolute nightmare and you would be pulling your hair out. So we get the press gun in there with the angle jaws, get them all pressed, and then this bit here is where press comes into its own. We've got the pipe work in just about now for the bath. I've brought the hot and cold over. As you've already seen, I've dropped the heating pipes down. Now that bracket is going to sit roughly around there. So with these, we're going to come up with elbows, but we've got enough movement on them so that with that bracket in place, we can lift it up, connect them flexes onto male line to coppers, and it's got a little bit of movement. They're the sort of things you've got to look out for when you're doing freestanding baths and that sort of stuff with mixer taps that are bolted down into the ground. I know the best one to get is the Hansgrohe, the iBox unit, because you literally mount that in the ground and everything drops into it. But the customers supplied everything on this job, so it is what it is. We get round it. Freestanding bath's going to go here. I'm going to shoot off now because it is Easter Sunday and the Formula 1 starts at 4 o'clock, so I want to get off and watch that, to be honest. Fairly slow progress today, but it's getting my head into it. We've got the heating system drained down now, so tomorrow I'm going to come across here, bring the waste up. That's just about done, give or take. With the heating drained down, we can move the heating pipes across, and then we can also cut that source that, well, no, there's a collar on there, so we can come across. We want to extend the toilet to about here, just to sort of shift everything down a little bit. So extend that across, bring the cold out for that, and then that'll be that side of the bathroom done. All we've got to do then is get this board up here, take our hot and colds into the stud work here, look about setting the valve in there, and then obviously across for the rainfall and the body wand, and then the waste that we're going to take across and boss into the stack and 2 hot and colds. So yeah, we're getting there. Good bit of progress. We've got this wall finished off. We're all about ready. The only one issue I've got is I think they've packed this off here. I'm gonna bring my laser level and just check this tomorrow, because I think they've packed it off to possibly level that through, because it doesn't look square to me, or to pack it off to get the depth for that shower valve that was going in. But we don't need that. This wall is going to be completely flat. So what I may do is, you see this timber here is flush. this one's popped out a little bit, and then from this point it's packed out, and I think it's for that. So I'll probably reduce all of that back in, and then that wall's fine. We can get that completely boarded. Right, let's go home, let's chill out. It's nice and sunny. The missus has been in the garden at home doing bits, so I'm going to go home. She won't be too pleased, but I'm going home to watch the F1. So another day, and we are now getting in the valve that's going to go here to feed the shower, and then all we've got to do is get the waste in, and then what I want to do is get all the water back on and the heating filled back up, so we can test all the pipe work before boards go on, floors go down. But what we've got to do now is fit this valve. So I've got the shower valve out. Now this is the most important bit when you're doing a bathroom renovation, when you're fitting a shower valve, is getting the right depth from. So this plate is going to be flush with the tile. So you've got to work out all of this depth to allow for plasterboard and tile and a tiny little bit of adhesive in the middle. So you've got to work it out. Plasterboard on here, tile, we're going to work out exactly where it's going to come to, and then what we're going to do is offer this up into position, give or take like so. Then we can get a board on the back and then mount this valve. You can see it's coming off the timber there, and then mount that valve. But that is probably one of the most important things to get right, because if you don't get the right depth with the valve, it can throw everything out. You've got a little bit of movement on it. It will pull forward ever so slightly. I think it's about 20 mil. You've got a little bit of give and take on it, but ideally you want to get it perfect. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time now working that out, offering it up, measuring it, getting the tiles down in the garage, measuring, so that we know we are perfect with the measurements for that. So we've got a board now on the back of where this valve's going to go. So if I offer the valve in to here, I'm not going to fix it just yet, but you can see where the stud is there, and the chrome of the valve, the plate's going to be 25 mil from that, so we've got a little bit of movement, so that's fine. All we've got to do now, we've got a hole drilled up through there, hole drill through the side, and the valve is going to sit in position there. I've got my laser level set up, so I need both hands to get this valve set onto that board. So what I'm going to do now is get a bit of paste on this pipe here, and then we've got our screws ready, obviously the laser level set up ready. But what we can do is offer this valve in, get our connection made on it while holding it into position, and then we can level through from these little lugs here. So I've got to move the level to get it exactly where we need it, in line with our pipe work, which is there. Now if I just hold that back there, you can see the laser level going through the middle there, through the bottom, onto here, onto there, so we know it is absolutely vertical going up. Have a little tweak around with it, but while it's held in position with that screw, we can have a look. So that's that valve now, perfectly plumb, vertical. We've got the laser level set up here, and you can see, I don't want to get in the way of the beam, but you can see we bang on that screw there, bang on that screw there, so it's following it up exactly where we want it to be. So got a hot going into the left, cold coming out here, which I've got to bring back round, but we've also got to take that across for the body one, and obviously that one at the top for the rainfall. So we'll get all this bolted into position now, tightened up, and then start running the pipework round. I've just messed up on this shower valve. Now, I don't know if it's been picked up on the video, on the footage we've just recorded, but I was just connecting these pipes up, and I looked at the side here, and as you can see on here, I don't know if you can make it out, it's got cold. It's written upside down, but it's got cold, and then this side has got hot. When I was connecting this in, tightening that, I looked and we had the hot inlet there and a cold inlet there. Real world plumbing, as always on this channel, and I looked at it and was like, no. So I just undone the screws, whipped it out, turned it round. But yeah, I just wanted to be completely transparent, because he may have picked it up on the previous bit of footage that we recorded. Anyway, that is the right way now. Hot on the left, cold on the right. We're up to the top, we can run that round, and then I'm just going to come off the bottom now to feed this body on. So what I'm going to do is tuck underneath there, drill through there, go round, and then we can lift it up over there. So then the shower valve is finally in, done. The pipe work is up over for the rainfall shower, and for the body one. We'll get some lagging and protection on those pipes before it's all boarded. But what I want to do now is get the water back on and get the heating filled up. Obviously we've got our heating pipes here and our cold feed for the toilet there, bath pipes, basin pipes, and obviously shower. We've still got to put the waste in for the basin, but what I want to do is get the water back on. Now I've put an isolation valve on there, and I'll just quickly grab that out of the van. Got a washing machine valve on there. It just means that I can turn each of these on to fully check all the pipe work that is in before it's boarded over and all that sort of stuff. So let's go and get the water back on and check that all the pipe work for the first fix is spot on. So I've just been and turn the water back on. Obviously pressurised cylinder, so the hot water's got to come through the cylinder. Let's check. You can hear water. Panicked then, panicked, but we've got the header tank for the heating up there. In fact, there's a little valve in the airing cupboard. Let me turn that off. I think it's what feeds the header tank. There we go. Let's turn that off, little valve there. Let's turn that off for the moment, just while we check the hot and colds and everywhere is all good. So that all seems okay. So then in theory, if we turn on that's the top one, and then turn on the bottom one, we should be able to get a bucket under there and pull a little bit of water through. Perfect, so there we go. The bottom one is fine. And then let's check that the outlet for the rainfall is all good. Perfect. A little bit wet, but at least we know it's all good. Pressure's there, which is exactly what we want to see. So we know we can now that off. So by putting a little cross on the top of there, we know that that position is the off position for them valves. Turn it on, turn it off. So we're all good. The water is back on, and I need to, well, I'm not really owning up to it. It's something that's happened, and I suppose in a way I should have looked when we ripped everything out, but in my defence, you always assume the pipe on the left-hand side is the hot. Now, also, people are going to go, why have you used so many press fit fittings on this? I just had them out, so I've used them, it's not a problem. So we turned the water back on, and what I did, because it's pressurised cylinder behind here, I turned the feed off to the cylinder, therefore shutting off the hot water. Pop the cap off the way that we piped the bath up. Yeah, that's fine. Went to pop the cap off what I thought was the hot. Well, it's been switched over in it, so the pipes are crossed. So what I've had to do is switch the pipes over under the floor there, because even though we bought out what I thought was the hot pipe on the left, it turns out that the pipe work under the floor, wherever it is crossed over. So I took the cap off the hot, and it was the cold, and water went everywhere. But it's a good job of seeing it now, because obviously the shower valve is piped up hot on the left, cold on the right. So yeah, I managed to pick that up, noticed it, had to switch the pipe work over there. So we've done that, and I thought, in case it gets spotted further along in the video, I'll tell you that I've done it. Real World Plumbing. As I always say, the channel is Real World Plumbing. Don't ever tell me that no one's ever crossed a pipe, filled it up. I remember doing it years ago and had hot water going to a cistern. It happens to the best of us. And on that note, why not hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, get subscribed to the channel, because you're going to want to see the rest of this build. But before we go, I've got another little thing, another little slight issue. So I'm running the waste pipe in now for this basin. Because it's a twin basin, I'm going to run it 1.5 inches, and then we can split off under the basin 1.25 inches. It's not a problem. So I want to come over to here, and what I'm going to do is boss into this 4-inch going down here. So got my Milwaukee drill, popped it in. There's just no room to get to it. Can't get the drill down there. So I've been meaning to get one for ages. So I've gone on, I thought there's literally a screw fix up the road. Popped in angle drill, it's not in till tomorrow. So I'm gonna have to pick that up first thing in the morning. Dave Bishop's coming tomorrow to do the floor. So first thing in the morning, I'm gonna pick that angle drill up, get that, where is it? Boss, get the strap boss drilled onto the side of that saw stack, and then we can run this 1.5 inches in. But what I'm gonna do now is just get this pipe work into position, probably bring it over to here. We've drilled through there, we're going to pop up out the wall, underneath the floor, and get it over there so we can connect into that saw stack tomorrow.